Hello, my name is Abhishek and I am in art, science and business of making software and scaling it. Having spent most of my leadership career with fairly large scale internet companies across Southeast Asia, I think I can take the liberty to talk about what I see as the new normal of IT infrastructure. Right now, we are in an amazing time. This is 2015, and I don't have to defend cloud computing and various forms of virtualization or containerization and how it can benefit an organization. For many of us here, cloud is the default choice. But I want you to take a step back and really think about what's going on today in the industry. We are in a time when world's largest taxi company does not own a vehicle. The most popular media company does not create content. The most valuable retailer has no inventory and world's largest accommodation provider has no real estate. The interesting fact about these companies is that they all saw an exponential growth in last 3 to 5 years. The first question that triggers in my head when I look at this is, what has changed in the world suddenly that has created an ecosystem for companies like these to grow at such an exponential rate? Sure, there are advancements in technology and adoption rate has gone up. My key observation is that cost of execution and barriers to entry has gone way down, resulting in small teams doing really large scale work in short time. Keep that thought in your head for a while. Another point that you might observe is the speed at which people go from an idea to a successful product. People have realized that key to success is in quickly and efficiently iterating on ideas and assumptions. For example, when Airbnb started, they had no idea what they were doing. They moved fast and adapted very quickly to what market wanted them to be. What does this do to the new age leadership and decision making? I love to quote Jeff Bezos here, who observed that people who were right a lot of time were people who often change their minds. He argues that the consistency of thought may not be a positive trait. It's perfectly healthy and even encouraged to have an idea tomorrow that contradicted your idea today. The leaders who are evolving in this era have totally different traits than the later leaders of industrial revolution. We are seeing examples where fundamentals are being successfully challenged. Take an example of Zappos, a successful e-commerce company selling shoes, which has been building an organization where no one and everyone is a boss. We all have been telling our people for a while to think outside the box. But you know what? If everyone had to think outside of the box, maybe it was the box that needed fixing. So what does all this have to do with the IT infrastructure? Well, the only thing that hasn't changed in the last years is constant evolution of technology. So let's ask a different question. If I had a power of hiring all the leaders, all the employees from companies like Zappos, Amazon, Airbnb, or Uber, etc., and put them into a room to solve problems in banking, finance, shipping, FMCG, retail, childcare, media, hospitality, insurance, or even government, what would be the shape of the next insurance company or shipping company or even government departments if these same people came together? Whatever comes out, but one thing for sure, they will employ technology to do large-scale work in short time, iterate fast, learn fast, and importantly, keep themselves focused on solving the right problem. And this is why IT is seen as a strong partner in all enterprises. Doesn't matter which industry we talk about. What could fail this partnership is if IT is the slow-moving part. If there are scalability bottlenecks. If you've got homegrown tools that people hate to use. And processes which evolved as a reaction to prior stupidity. I'm pretty sure there are many ideas to fix these kind of problems. But you have to keep in mind, cloud infrastructure is one such thought which people are comfortably adopting to solve these problems for them today. It does not matter which industry you're in. I want you to ask a question. If there is anything in your IT organization today that is slowing you down or preventing you from going faster, there are many conversations that have stopped happening in the world of cloud. Example, Lionsgate moved their MS SharePoint and SAP apps to AWS Cloud, and since then, the operational overhead on these applications have reduced drastically. There are no more conversations on what kind of hardware vendor they might need to run these apps, what backup strategy is reliable, where to buy bandwidth from, what about single point of failures, etc. On the other hand, companies like Disney is leveraging cloud services for their critical business offering. There are no more conversations about building a content delivery network or a scalable encoding infrastructure for their content or concerns around data storage. Most importantly, if you read between the lines, they do not need to hire special experts on staff on their payroll to manage complex storage or content delivery systems. There is a huge cost savings which can be channeled into more strategic investments. The great example of this is Nokia Siemens Network, which employed cloud services to achieve the business agility goals. They quickly realized that for them to stay ahead in the curve, they needed to innovate faster. For IT, it translated into shorter time to deploy services, which resulted in more consumption of the IT resources. The key point to observe here is that all these organizations which adopted cloud are seeing a shift in their focus from boring operational problems to more strategic innovation problems. The cloud is the new normal for today's IT. And I won't be surprised that soon it's going to become very hard to hire people to manage homegrown data centers because the choices the future experts have are either work for legacy enterprise data center or work at a cutting edge massive scale data centers of cloud vendors where their expertise has higher leverage and broader application. On the other hand, in the new age where smart kids have everything at click of a button or a swipe of a credit card, will they accept an environment and a culture which forces them to go through a lengthy procurement process and wait for weeks or months to deploy their applications and ideas? I strongly believe that change in the way we run IT is inevitable. The question is, when will this change become a pressing problem and who is prepared for it? Change almost never fails because it's too early. It almost always fails because it's too late. This makes me think that the winner in the new world is the one who picks the right problem to solve, because it's always easy to get distracted by the problems which doesn't matter in the end. Cloud is here to stay by default.